if I know that for women to be successful in certain industries, it takes longer or it's harder for you guys.
Yeah.
If you guys are gonna have a career, you can't settle yourself for a guy that doesn't even have one.
If you like drama, we got it. If you like sports, yeah, we got it. You like politics, promise we got it. Report everything hot at this college. PG New J right off the press. Reporters and filmers, PG got the best. Information that you need is reported. Make sure y'all tune in for what's happening next.
Hey, welcome to another new episode in the collaboration with the Latino Student Association and the Agua newspaper. I am your host, Yvonne Barahona, and today I am joined by
Isaac Lopez.
And Anna Ortiz.
Where are you guys from?
I'm from Mexico.
I'm from El Salvador.
Well, I was born here, but my family is from El Salvador.
You were born in Salvador?
No, I was born here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was born in Mexico.
Yeah.
So,
In today's episode, I remember you guys were wanting to discuss gender roles in Hispanic communities and machismos. What is your guys' intakes about that?
what is you guys' experience in that? Because I feel like we were like, the three of us have different experiences because you guys were born here. So, and then you guys are from a different country where it might be different.
Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah.
Because, for example, machismo in Mexico is very heavy.
Oh,
it's still very heavy.
I know it is. Yeah.
So my experience is different to where there might be things that for me is normal that for you guys may not be normal. So I kind of want to get first you guys' perspective on the gender roles, how it works for you guys here, and then also look into what is machismo to you guys, or up to what extent is machismo.
Well, I never grew up with a brother, actually, so I was the only child growing up. It was just my grandma, my abuela, my tia, my mom, and my uncle. He was older, so I didn't really experience much machismo, but I think now I have a little brother, and I think there's some things that my mom's doing different with him because he's a boy, you know. If I did something, oh no, la chancla, you know, like pegar, but it's with a boy, you know. I don't know, it's different. I don't know. What's your experience?
Okay, just for general reference, machismo, because I know that is a Spanish term, is basically man pride. Also, we talked about hyper masculinity, where, you know, it's just about man pride, I guess, yeah. Just for those that don't know. I mean, my experience with machismo, my brothers, because I have a brother and a sister, they're way older than me. My sister is 18 years older.
Oh, wow.
And my brother is 20 years older.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't grow up with them.
Yeah,
so by the time I was like starting getting into that, they were already gone. But I do recall my brother saying that he got away with a whole bunch of stuff.
So you grew up like the only child, kind of?
Yes, basically.
Oh, was it your mom and dad?
Yes, it was both of them. Yeah, but then also I didn't get that much in trouble. That's another thing though. So there wouldn't be much space or room for me to really, for my dad really to be like, oh, you know, it's fine, he's a guy. So I didn't have that experience, but I do know that with different people, it's like they're like about the same age, and it's like, you know, if the guy wants to sneak out the house at night, it's fine. Yeah. That's my boy. But if the girl wants to sneak out or she wants to bring a guy, it's a whole scene.
Yeah, it's another thing, yeah.
Well, in comparison to both of you, I have an older brother. Well, he's 6 years older than me, but my mom is way more lenient with him. Like, in terms, like, if he goes out like at 8 and he's not back home by 12, she won't really, like, she'll get over it the next day. But for me and my sister, like, she won't talk to us for a couple days and stuff like that. Or she'll make it seem like we did the worst thing ever. And, like, we did the same thing as he did. So sometimes it makes us think, like, girl, be for real. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that I heard that a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
Talking about gender roles before we jump more into machismo, how do you guys' houses operate? Because machismo is not only towards the kids, but also in the household.
The spouse, mom
with
and dad.
The spouse. It's typically them too.
Yeah.
I think, well, I have my stepdad at home. So I think my mom caters to him. And I think I'm learning to as well how to cater to a guy. Like, I'll serve his plate first.
Oh, that's so real.
You know, like when I cook, like, I have to wash his dish. He leaves it there. And what does he expect? Like, why do you leave your dish here? ¿Por qué no lo lavas el traste? It's so easy to lavar el traste. Just poner el jabón and soap. But he's not doing that. I have to wash it. So I think men also know, even my mom, she's the one that does the limpieza. She's the one that does cleaning at home. He pays most of the bills.
Okay.
So I think that too. Like, I just think he's like, I don't know, different. I don't know. Maybe because he's a male and he just thinks he has to take care of the household.
So, okay. If he pays 100%, right? Let's say it was 100%, not just some. Would you think that gave him the right to be a certain way or be treated differently?
No. Because my mom also makes her own money. He's not asking her to do it. He's doing it willingly.
Did they have that agreement when they...
No.
No.
But also, he's not Hispanic. So he's more machismo. He's Egyptian. It is from Africa.
Oh, okay.
So their role, like their nature is to take care of the woman and the family. Like, he's the man of the house.
Yeah, their culture is a little more different than ours.
It's more strict. It
is.
Like, he wanted my mom to her first and his first and middle name to her name, just because they got married.
Yeah, that's a whole different culture.
Yeah.
You can't mess with that one. I mean, it's not in my area. Okay, I see. Because, I mean, sometimes, at least in my house, when my mom and dad got married, their agreement was, you stay home, you raise the kids, I go out there and get, the money. The expectation was for both of them to meet at certain point on how they're going to raise kids, right? My mom is way more strict because she's Christian. So for her, it's like, oh, no cursing, no sex before marriage, no blah, 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 blah. But my dad is like, he's Christian, but he's like, whatever. Right?
I know what you mean.
It's like whatever, right? So they both met at certain point in the middle to where how we're going to raise the kids, so that when my mom stayed home and raised us, it was according to how they both wanted to be raised. And that was the agreement. But I know that doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah. Oh, but also I think it stems back to like how they were raised and stuff like that, because like my mom and her mom, her mom was always taught that she has to serve the man. Like, anything the man wants, she has to be at their disposal. Like, if she thinks that something that the guy did is wrong, she shouldn't really say anything. She should just like listen to what they're saying, because they're probably right, because they're providing for her. And also the fear that the man might stop providing for you if you like don't listen to what they're saying, because a lot of these women don't have jobs, like, because they decided to stay at home and raise their kids. And I think that plays a big role in like why it still exists and why it's still going on.
Do you think that nowadays, right, because obviously that was, let's assume, 20-30 years ago, nowadays, where there's a good percentage of women that have careers or are starting to get into school, would that change?
I think it would. Well, I'm gonna talk about myself, because like for me, like I know that like I've seen my mom she's always serving the boys in our house. And like me, I sometimes like catch myself trying to do the same thing, but then I'm like, they can do the same thing. We have the same body parts, like, so I think that it starts from like us getting out of that mindset that men have to be served, because they really don't have to. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I'm kind of iffy about it. Sometimes I'm okay with it, but sometimes I'm not. I'm just starting a fresh relationship, and I kind of like it a little bit, that he's in control. But then I'm like, no, I'm a woman. This is not what I was born for. To be followed and ruled by a man. That's how our family was raised, and así no es.
So you're more into 50-50?
Yes, more 50-50, yeah.
But is it really 50-50, or is it like 75-25?
75-25.
Like, what is it, though? That's the thing, because, obviously in a relationship, you're not always going to be 50-50. Like, there's going to be times where the guy may give more, or the girl may give more in certain cases. But, like, how do you guys navigate that in terms of...
Well, I think speaking what you want is important. Like, letting them know that, hey, like, you know, like I feel like if we both go half and half, I mean, like, because of course I don't mind going half and half with somebody, like it's not a problem. But if I feel like I'm the only one like doing everything, like almost I'm almost like your mom, then that's gonna piss me off, and then I really have to say something to you then and be like, hey, like what's going on? Help around. Yeah.
When do you bring that up?
When I start to feel overwhelmed, like if like when I get upset about it, like if I notice myself doing something too much, I'll be like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Like, okay, well, yeah, but like talking stage, month into dating.
Well, I would say dating already, because before then you're not really doing things that involve like serving and stuff like that in terms of like, well, I'm not cooking for you or anything, or I'm not doing acts of kindness, like really, because I'm still getting to know you.
Yeah, you're
so
getting to know him.
Still.
It's different. Like, I don't feel like they're gonna show you reveal you themselves in the beginning, because you're getting to know the person, you know, 1-on-1, and then, you know, when they get more comfortable with you, then they're gonna, I feel like, unwrap themselves how they really, really are. You know. What do you think?
Are we like still talking about the 3-month rule, or like what is talking stage for you guys? Like that's another thing though, because for example, for me, like in my case, it took us like 3 months, I guess, like before we started dating.
I think I could say the same. Yeah,
so
3 months.
I started seeing green flags in her within those 3 months, to the point where I was like, okay. And then we did touch bases, or like we did talk about certain topics that just led me into thinking, okay, this is fine.
What do you think as a guy, like, about like how what do you think you could guys could do better to like improve the situation
of the machismo?
I mean, it kind of depends on the guy, to be honest, because there is guys that are open to 50-50. There's guys that are not really open to 50-50. In most cases, I guess it really just needs to be you talking to her about how you want to handle this. Inflation is getting crazy, and to be honest, as much as I would like to go 100-0, I think it's gonna be hard for me to go do that, right? So I'm pretty sure that we have the most likely will be times where it might be like 75-25, 50-50. I don't know, but I guess you gotta talk it out with her, and then you guys have to bring it up and tell him what you want. Like, what is it that you want? What are you looking for? That you're not comfortable. Because, I mean, you girls are educated. You guys are in school. You're going to have a bachelor's, or you're going to persuade an associate's, which technically already puts you in a different map. Right. I hate to put it this way, but if I know that for women to be successful in certain industries, it takes longer, or it's harder for you guys.
Yeah.
If you guys are going to have a career, you can't settle yourself for a guy that doesn't even have one.
Right. Yeah, that's so true.
That's another thing, though. Sometimes machismo comes into that because a girl has a career, he's working in construction, and he just feel like, oh, she's superior than me because
No, but some construction men make money.
No, but I'm talking like education-wise, mentally-wise. Now, you can make money. I'm like, yeah, that's why they be doing it. But mentally-wise, they're like, oh, she has a career.
Yeah. They feel less superior. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that's when they have to like bring the whole, oh, I make more money.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm the man, so you better listen to me.
I didn't even have to go to school.
Yeah.
Ideas.
Like it's their thing, right? So now that there's a lot of girls that are getting their education together and everything, and honestly, realistically, they don't need a guy.
Yeah.
We're just doing you guys a favor of being there for you, right? Because you guys can get an apartment, you have a job, you can get through your life, right? So it gets to a point to where we're not needed anymore. We're just there for emotional support because you're bored and you want to spend your life with someone else, right?
Right.
Which is why I think that maybe within the next 10 years, machismo is not really gonna be a thing.
But only to the I feel like to the old school Latinos. Because there's some people actually that are still in our back home, back in countries.
Oh, in our country is different though. In our country it's gonna take a while.
That's what I mean. Like
But I think it's still gonna be around because I feel like machismo is really a mindset, and like some guys will never get over the mindset that they think they're more superior than women are. So I really think it's more like if you want to leave that mindset, because if you don't, then I mean you're just gonna continue to think you're superior. So going back to the gender roles thing, do you expect like women to like clean for you? What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you just expect it or like how?
Nah, it would have to be an agreement on how we want to take care of things. If we're both gonna be working, Monday through Friday, right? Obviously, I'm not gonna expect her to do it when she gets back from work. So I think it would be an activity that we will have to do on the weekend. Okay, well, like on a Saturday, like okay, we both do it. We get it done by noon, and then we can go out Saturday and do whatever we want. Now, if we do end up doing, I go work and you stay home. It would be nice to come home and like see the apartment or the house is clean. With lunch, I mean, I love spending money outside, so I'm not expecting her to make lunch. But I mean, it just depends, to be honest. Like, it really just depends on the agreement that we both have. And then you can't just have expectations, because then when you do and he or she doesn't meet them, then you're frustrated, and then all of a sudden you want to break up with them.
Yeah. Well, I'm more specifically talking like at home, like with your mom. Do you still live with your parents?
No.
Oh.
My parents live in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
I'm international student. That's why.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
Got here in 2020.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm.
Well, back home, did you expect it?
It was always there though. So that I was raised like this to a point to where it was a usual for me. Like, I would come from school and my mom was there, and like she like
had almuerzo ready for you.
Well, it was more like lunch, because I got from school. I got off at 12.
That is almuerzo.
That is not. That is lunch.
You just said lunch.
Yeah, breakfast is almuerzo.
Oh, well, to us, almuerzo is lunch.
Desayuno is what for you?
Okay, breakfast, desayuno, almuerzo, brunch.
I guess that's a different take.
So how would you say lunch?
Comida.
Comida's food.
That's how we say, la comida. And then
Cena,
it would be dinner.
And I guess in every country is like different Spanish terms.
You were born here too, anyway.
But Spanish was my first language growing up.
What was your first language?
Spanish too. Like growing up, you know, my brother doesn't speak no Spanish. My grandma talked to him like Benin. He's like, what? What are you saying?
Oh, he's a no sabo?
Yeah, he's a no sabo kid. But he understands basic words. But yeah, growing up here, you know, I grew up here. Spanish was the first language for me. So I was put in ESOL until up to 7th grade. Until my mom said, no, she was born here. Why is she going to ESOL? So it was my first language. So
were you in that program too?
I was, yeah. But up until like, I want to say 1st grade, not that long.
But is that because you guys were taught in Spanish and you guys didn't know that much English, or was it just because you were Hispanic and you were
Spanish? Yeah, because we're Spanish. Well, because I was Spanish. I don't know.
Well, I think yes and no. Like, I can't really remember if I spoke only Spanish when I went to school when I was that young. But I feel like probably my vocabulary wasn't as advanced in English as it was in Spanish.
Did they like put you on a test or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I took so many tests in school growing up, and
not like before you got to school, so that they can put you in those classes. Like, is there like English evaluate?
I think my English wasn't the best. It was maybe like
that makes sense.
Like chopped up English and like Spanish. I speak a lot of Spanglish like up to now.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. So to wrap up the episode, right? We talk about gender roles. We talk about machismo. How do you guys think what do you guys think guys could do to work this around in this new generation? Because, I mean, obviously, both of you seem like you guys are more of the new generation of Hispanic women. So you guys are not going to settle for that type of behavior.
Wait, pause. No, it's in the video. But Hispanic, you say Hispanic, you don't say Latino? Because people actually get on you because of that. Hispanic, Latino, Spanish.
I never heard of that before.
Nah, because they be talking about the Latinx. I hate that term. I hate that term.
How do you guys think we can fix this moving on forward, like gender roles and machismos? How do you guys think on that?
Well, I think like maybe like back home, because obviously back home
Yeah.
is where it starts. Like, I think that we should start letting girls go to school more, and like letting them get educated so that they can not feel like they have to stay with a man and just listen to everything that they have to say, and be their own person and not feel like they're depending on for their life on a man, and therefore being able to break down machismo. I mean, like, kind of like, I don't want to say erase it, but you guys get what I'm saying.
Okay. When you say, well, not like erase machismo, but like break it down, do you still want the masculinity to be here?
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, I know that's like a kind of like you're contradicting what
both
you're saying.
Like both of them like do line up at some
They
point,
do, yeah.
right? To where like sometimes it's okay and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
So it's like, how should the guys watching this should navigate, or how would they be able to tell the difference between machismo and still being masculine, so that you can take care of the girl?
I think being masculine doesn't have to do with you like acting like you're better than a woman, or like just because you're providing. I feel like just like what I said before, it's a mindset. Like, and if you choose to not have that mindset, then obviously you're not gonna have. You can still be a provider without having to be like, I'm your man. Like, yeah.
How honestly, I'm gonna take it back to that. I just feel like, you talk in the beginning of the relationship as well. What do you expect from me? What do you expect? You always have to talk it out. Then if he's doing something that you think he's overpowering you, you're gonna discuss it with him. Hey, like, no, I am also part of this relationship, not just you, because you're the man ahead of the household.
Yeah.
It's 50-50. I feel like you have to talk to it with your partner or your wife.
Okay. That's good.
How do you take our takes on it? Like, what do you think as a guy? Like,
your opinion here.
Like,
I mean, like,
are you a machista?
I don't think so.
A little bit, nothing. I mean, it's okay to be,
I don't think so, to be honest.
Do you still have those characteristics from Mexico, like your family? Did you think it came with you?
No, because I didn't like it.
That's
okay. I think that's where it begins, though.
Yeah.
It begins by not liking how your dad treats your mom.
Yeah.
And then you try not to be that way.
Yeah.
And that way, also when it comes to finding a girl, there's things that I don't like that my mom does. So that when you go and find a girl, it's like, okay, I don't want my girl to be like my mom in this type of ways. So no, I don't think I'm machista, but I do know that sometimes it can get to my head in terms of like masculinity.
Okay.
Where it can be converted into that. But other than that, I mean, you guys.
How do you control yourself? Like, how do you say stop? It's just
basing on how defensive she gets. I think that's how you can tell if you're being machista. Like, if you see she gets very defensive about what you say, like for example, like with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And you make a machista comment, or you being machista, and she gets defensive, I think that's when.
But back home, they don't know that. They can't tell that at all.
Oh yeah, them.
They just think that she's being disrespectful. They don't see as she's speaking her mind.
That's the old generation, though.
Yeah.
The new generation, they gonna shut you down like this. But okay, well, it was a good talk. Hopefully we can make more videos together for the Latino Association.
Wrap up this episode. Shout out to Bobby and the Humanities Department. And stay tuned